Shalom Aleichem, everyone. It's Erev Shabbos, Parshas V'Eschanan. I hope everyone had a meaningful Tisha B'Av, an easy fast, and hopefully we really grew from the experience of Tisha B'Av. I want to speak a little bit about the Aseret HaDibros. We find once again in Parshas V'Eschanan the Aseret HaDibros depicted for the second time in Chumash. We had it in Parshas Yisro, and now we have it once again in Parshas V'Eschanan. And the last of the Adibros is Lo Sachmod. In Parshas Yisro, we speak about Lo Tachmod Eishes Re'echa, not to go ahead and cover your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's Sodeh. Here we already have Lo Tachmod Beis Re'echa because we're on the precipice of going into Eretz Yisrael, where we will have batim, we'll have homes, we'll have houses, and the Torah exhorts us once again, Lo Sachmod, do not covet, Beis Re'echa, Eishes Re'echa, etc. And there's a very famous and well-known Ibn Ezra, found in Parshas Yisro, where the Ibn Ezra asks the question, how is it possible that the Torah can legislate and tell us what to think, what to feel? How exactly is that possible? Our emotions. We can control perhaps our actions. How do we control our thoughts? And Lo Sachman is really legislating what we're supposed to think, how we're supposed to feel. Is it reasonable that the Torah really legislates in that area? And the Ibn Ezra brings the point home with a very famous mashal. He says, the average person, we might find birds as a curiosity. We might find it cool if we had wings and we could fly, we could soar, we could see everything from on top. But we're not jealous of birds. We're not jealous of the fact that we wish, oh, how much I'm jealous, how much I wish I could go ahead and sprout wings and fly. We might want it, have it as a curiosity, but we're really not jealous of the birds. Why not? Because we understand we're different than birds. It's not shaykh that a human being should have wings. That's the domain of birds. And this is my domain. That has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Ibn Ezra gives a mashal, another mashal. The peasant man who's living in the villages, far away from the city, far away from the palace of the king, he has no thoughts. When the king is seeking a wife for his daughter, for the princess, the villager, the peasant, has no thoughts. Oh, I hope it's going to be me. He understands that nobility marries nobility, that princesses marry princes, and it's only in fairy tale and Cinderella stories that the villager, that the peasant girl or peasant boy gets the queen or gets the prince. It's not real life. And therefore, he's not jealous. He doesn't think, oh, I wish I could have that. It's not shaykh. And therefore, says the Ibn Ezra, we should approach our neighbor's property. He has a nice car. He has a nice house. Well, what does that have to do with me? In the same way that the bird has cool wings, it's not shaykh to me. It's not shaykh. It has nothing to do with me. And therefore, says the Ibn Ezra in a very famous comment, I don't covet the bird's wings. The peasant doesn't covet the king's daughter because it has no shaykhus. And therefore, by the same token, my neighbor's car, my neighbor's spouse, my neighbor's house has no shaykhus to me. Hashem gives everyone what they need, what they're supposed to have. And part of our emunah in Hashem is that we get what we're supposed to have. We don't get more, we don't get less, we get exactly what we're supposed to have. I just read a phenomenal book about a phenomenal person, the biography of Rebbetzin Henny Machlis, who was nifter about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it speaks about her life, her emunah, her chesed, and it's phenomenally inspiring. It's an incredibly inspiring story, and it talks about her struggles and her ultimate emunah in every aspect of her life, whether it's financially, whether it's health, whether it's in dealing with her children, the tremendous sense of Ein Od Milvado. And if a person lives that mantra of Ein Od Milvado, so then, of course, the other neighbor's stuff is not shaykh to me, has no relevance to me, and therefore I'm not going to covet it. It's interesting. If you look at the Ramban in Perek Yutes of Sefer Vayikra, in Parshas Kedoshim, so Ramban cites a medrash, an interesting medrash, that says that all the halachos in Parshas Kedoshim also have a linkage to Aseret HaDibros. And for example, the first Dibra, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, so that's Keneged. The Pasuk says repeatedly in Parshas Kedoshim, Ani Hashem Elokechem. We have, for example, Zachas Yom HaShabbos L'Kadsho, Shomes Yom HaShabbos L'Kadsho, and in Parshas Kedoshim, Ve'es Shabsosai Tishmoru. Every one of the Aseret HaDibros has a parallel in a pasuk in Parshas Kedoshim. So what is the parallel to the pasuk of Lo Sachmod? So says the Medrash cited by the Ramban, the parallel to Lo Tachmod is the pasuk in Parshas Kedoshim, Ve'ahavta l'reach hakamocha. That's interesting. Do not covet your neighbor's property. That's Keneged Ve'ahavta l'reach hakamocha. What exactly is the pshat? What's the relationship between those two psukim? You shall love your neighbor as you love yourself, and that pasuk parallels Lo Tachmod Beis Re'echa. Makesher. What is the linkage? What's the idea over here in these psukim? Why does the Medrash tie these psukim to each other? So Rav Frand explains a beautiful idea. He says, imagine a father has a son, and the son is phenomenally wealthy, far exceeds what the father has. The son is steiging, is a bigger Talmid Chacham than the father. The son has more property, has a nicer car than the father. Is the father jealous of his son? Is the father jealous that the son's a bigger lamdin, is more meticulous about mitzvos? Is the father jealous that the son has a bigger house, has a better job? Do we find such a thing? You'll never find such a thing. Why? Because all parents, they want not that their son should be only as good as they are, only have as much as they are. Parents love their children so deeply, so profoundly, that they want their children to have even more. That's how deep and profound their love is. They're not jealous. You're never going to find a father jealous of his son, a mother jealous of her daughter. You're never going to find it, because when the love is there and the love is so profound, of course I want you to be happy. Of course I want you to exceed me. Of course I want you to have everything. That's the unique love between a father and a son, a mother and a daughter. Says the Ramban, that's the message of this Medrash. The Medrash is telling us that if we had a proper sense of Ahavta l'recha kamocha, you really loved your neighbor. So he has a nice car, he has a great job, he has a nice house. If you love him, imagine the love of a father to a son. So you're not going to be jealous. You're going to appreciate, wow, he's fortunate, he's lucky, and I feel so happy for him. It's amazing. It's amazing for him. I'm so glad for him. That's what happens when you have a love relationship. And that's where we find ourselves in the Shabbos Nachmu, the days after Tisha B'Av. That's what we're supposed to get to, that love relationship. We're not jealous of our fellow man. We're not jealous of our neighbor, of our fellow Jew. V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. If you have that sense of love, like a father to a son, like a mother to a daughter, so there's no room for jealousy. There's no room for coveting. You're so happy for the successes and the achievements of your neighbor. And that is such a tikkun for the schinas chinam that brought down the Beis HaMikdash. That's exactly how the Beis HaMikdash gets restored. By fixing these flaws, we go ahead and elevate ourselves. We elevate all of those around us. So no room for lo sachmod, a sense of the hafta l'recha kamocha. And Amir Tzashem, if we have that sense, we'll truly be zoche to bring about the geula shlema b'mheira v'yameinu.